I think we, you know,
Okay, so
we have our number two.
yeah, I have a number.
Okay.
It's not great. It doesn't end up being very expensive bill, but we always have fun.
I didn't realize that, because to me, it seemed abrupt.
614-946-5708.
Oh, yes, shoot. What was
You
the
can
name
send
of
me
it?
text. Yeah,
Oh, I have a different number. I must have her work number.
yeah, it's
Yeah, no, whatever they want in the future.
946-5708.
I ate it.
I'm gonna see it. I have those.
Oh, it's paying? Okay. Well, it's not-
They're keeping. They're keeping. More, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And this is,
What was the, 614, what was the?
946-5708.
Yes, that's,
All right,
that's
thank you.
very nice. Every time I go there, I swear that I'm gonna order something different. It's always on that book.
Well, yeah.
I just can't break that habit. Cross the sidewalk. Anyway.
Wow.
So I will either have a dinner or should have tomorrow. I'll be happy to pick it up. Yeah. That's just the rest. Overnight. I can see the UPS truck showing.
Yeah, that was.
That's true. That's true.
Well, that's impressive. Was that the last one? Black and white. Yeah, that's my grandfather's.
We still got a couple minutes, 2 minutes. So you want to see a 40-second?
Yeah.
Video. Yeah. Well,
Down the street.
Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was.
Oh, right.
We did.
Yes.
That was, you know.
Yeah. Find my friend. She called off.
Younger.
Yeah.
I told her
Then I was checking. She was going back
in LA.
Yeah.
And,
Good to see that.
much more.
Still like it.
Yeah, we ready?
Ready.
Right in the middle of the blues.
Okay, I would like to call tonight's meeting of the Development Commission, November 10th, 2022, order, as we always do with pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag to the one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, there's a display across the street in the Coleman building. Anyone here is invited to go. It's free. I heard the word cater. Connection, so there must be food and drinks over there. So help yourself. Tonight we're having a throwback meeting. It's like the pro football players have throwback uniforms. We are having a throwback meeting to the way it used to be. No microphones. We're in basically the basement of this building. It's on the first floor. So enjoy it. It's a unique situation for us on this group. Case number 1, C 22-055, 2937 Courtright Road.
In your supplemental packets, you'll find an updated limitation development text, which adds the commitment language we like for site plans, as well as committing to adding fencing around detention areas. And there's also an updated site plan as open space calculations noted. The site is developed with a single unit dwelling zone in the R rural district. The applicant requests the LAR3 limited apartment residential district and PUD 8 planned development district to permit a single and multi-unit residential development. The application proposes to split the site into a 37-unit apartment building in the LAR3 district on 1.3 acres. The PUD 8 district includes the remaining 2.84 acres of the site, proposing 15 single-unit dwellings, which includes the existing dwelling. So north and west is undeveloped land in the neighborhood general districts. To the south are single-unit dwellings in the R rural districts, and to the east are single-unit dwellings in Madison Township. A concurrent CV 22-068 has been filed for the LAR3 district sub-area and includes variances to reduce parking lot screening, building and parking setbacks, to reduce the minimum number of parking spaces required from 56 to 40 spaces, and to reduce the minimum amount of open space required from 12,000 square feet to 6,278 square feet. That request will be heard by City Council and will not be considered at this Development Commission meeting. This location has no adopted land use plan in place, but it has adopted Columbus Citywide Planning Policy, CTP2 design guidelines. Located within the boundaries of the Mideast Area Commission, whose recommendation is for approval. The LAR3 limitation text establishes use restrictions and development standards that commit to a maximum of 37 dwelling units and addresses parking setbacks. PUD 8 development text establishes use restrictions and supplemental development standards that address lot size, lot width, side and rear yards, building setbacks, access, and includes a provision allowing depth within the rear yard. Additionally, the proposed development also includes the extension of Haskins Road. The requested LAR3 limited apartment district and PUD 8 planned unit development district will permit the development of a single and multi-unit residential development at this location. Planning Division staff are supportive of the proposal while noting that some of the single unit dwellings show garage forward facing elevations, which are discouraged by CTP2 guidelines. However, the inclusion of additional design features such as single garage doors, glass panels, and porches are considered mitigating factors for staff to be in support. While there is no adopted land use plan in place, the location has adopted Columbus Citywide Planning Policy, CTP2 design guidelines, and staff understand that additional bicycle parking within the LAR3 district sub-area will be added to mitigate the parking space reduction, which is consistent with CTP2 design guidelines. While the Plan Division staff is supportive of the proposal, zoning staff note that the concurrent council variance CV 22-068 includes a variance to reduce the open space by almost 50%, as depicted on the submitted PUD 8 site plan. And as such, zoning staff does not support such a reduction, so City Department's recommendation is for approval. However, if the applicant would consider to meet the minimum qualifications of the open space requirement, staff would be willing to support the proposal as it would be.
And where's that stand now?
As we do not have the materials that have shown that they are willing to commit to the required open space, staff is still recommending this approval.
Okay. I'm Jeff Brown. I'm sorry. Let me ask if we have any traffic issues here
Nothing to add to the staff report.
and recreation and or
Kathy wasn't here tonight, but she didn't say there was any issues with
plans to. Okay,
No further comments.
okay, yeah.
I'm Jeff Brown, attorney for the applicant.
I'm Julia Woods, I'm with Hope Park Park Association.
This is Julie's family property. That was the house that she grew up in that we are keeping. I had a discussion with Ken this afternoon and he gave me a better understanding of what we could include for the open space. So we will adjust that open space on the, when you're looking at the drawing on the right side of Askin Road, so that we will meet the open space requirement in the PUD. So,
Mathematically, you will meet.
yes, yes.
Okay.
And so this proposal is a mixture of single family houses that will be rental as well as an elderly housing apartment complex. Julie has been involved in kind of the financial end of real estate and now wants to do something to give back to the community. So she's created this rental community, which is going to be affordable and hopefully additive to the neighborhood. We went to several meetings with the MAC and came with their full approval for our application.
Okay, great. All right, is there anyone here tonight to speak regarding case number one? One person, two people? Okay, you have 3 minutes to tell us what's on your mind, just like you would with city council. And then we'll ask Jeff and Julie to come back. Speak loud, up at the front table here, there's,
You want me to come forward?
yes, please. Pretend there's a microphone there, but it's not turned up.
You want me to take a seat?
Please. Give us your name and tell us what that is.
My name is Jacqueline Bauman. My father owns the property located immediately to the right of the site at 2935 Courtright Road. We've owned this home for 6 years. And our position is we are in opposition to the application for a number of reasons. This is a low-density residential neighborhood. The site application would change it to a high-density residential neighborhood, which greatly concerns my father and several of the neighbors. We are concerned about some obvious issues such as noise, safety, increased traffic. We are concerned about the traffic in particular because Courtright Road has a very sharp curve, and that is already a slightly dangerous situation, and the increased traffic will only make it more susceptible to accidents. We are concerned about the reduction in property value. We think that this will be a detriment for us if we ever decide to sell the house. We are greatly concerned about the lack of privacy. In prior pictures that were on the screen, the site is a single family home and is otherwise just 4 acres of land, of beautiful land with trees, and all of that seems to be being swept away with this application. So part of the reason that my family bought this home is for the privacy that we had and because of how beautiful it is, and all of that will change. We are also concerned with the lack of privacy, not only the change of the view and the atmosphere, but the privacy. The site application has 8 homes being built at the very edge of my father's property, which for obvious reasons we are in opposition against. And I don't know if the applicant is aware, but I don't know if you can see it. Buckman is a street that is immediately behind my father's house and is connected to Askins Road. There is a meeting in an hour from now, which I don't find coincidental, to discuss the development of a homeless tiny home development. So what is happening to my father's property is immediately behind my father's home, there will be a homeless tiny home development occurring at the same time as this application for homes and residential apartments immediately to the left. So he's being surrounded on all sides, and I'm not sure if this is the place that you want to be building when so much is happening around. So there are plenty of other places to build these homes in this apartment complex that will not increase all these problems and run into the problems associated with the homeless tiny home development. So we're asking that the application be denied.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And one more speaker.
Yes, sir. My name is Josh Thomas. I believe this is my neighbor. No, I'm not kidding. That is my neighbor. Can you go back on the screen to the beginning? I think it was the second slide. There should be a white garage, white building. Go back one more. Okay, back right there. Picture on the left. That's actually my house. Like that's my garage, my house. So, just kind of want to know what's going on. I got the letter, and my wife and I were, just here trying to figure out what's going on. We're against it because we don't know what's going on, and like our neighbor said, a lot of concerns with the tiny houses. Is this to promote public health? If so, how? What measures could we see, and how can we, who's going to be accountable for measuring that?
Where, see where that house, that site says the word site on it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, where is your house located?
It borders right. If we're looking at it right here, that land
To the south,
to the
bottom
south.
of it.
Yeah,
Right there.
right there. Yeah. So my driveway and our driveway is partially shared a little bit.
All right,
But all that's my land.
okay. All right, well, we'll,
So we are against.
get more fully,
Yeah, we are against it though. I want to make that clear.
okay,
I know the current tenants of the house, they're against it. the Askins Road, I know that's gonna take away some of the land, and my other neighbors that are just south of us, they're against it as well. They couldn't be here, so I came to speak for all of them. So,
Very good. Well,
Yeah, in this property.
no, we know the like the people that are living in the site right now. Yeah, we know them, and they're not for it as well.
do you know why?
Yeah, I talked to them a little while ago, and they said that there was an arrangement between whoever owns the land. I think she's a little bit older right now. I don't know. That they were going to buy the land. I think they've lived in the house for 6 or 7 years. COVID, kind of messes up time. But I thought they had a verbal agreement that she was going to sell the land to them. That's why they upkept the house, upkept the property. They cut all the grass, kind of all the additions and everything that they've like poured into it. But there was, to my knowledge, a verbal agreement that, hey, we're going to sell this land to you. This kind of came up, which was kind of blindsiding to all of us. So, yeah, there's that as well.
All right, let's get the applicant back up. If you step back to your original place. Yeah.
If you could go back, I think probably the aerial. Well, actually, to the north is property zone P&D. That dominion was originally developed, and I think there's another developer looking at putting homes up there. To the south, the gentleman that was just speaking is a piece of property that's in the art district, and there are a couple other ones like that. But then you'll see the subdivision to the south that was built, and as you might imagine, you have a street coming from the north and a street coming from the south, and it's to nobody's surprise that traffic has asked us to connect the dots. So we have to extend Haskins through our property, and then if the other properties come in for development, then you would ultimately have a connection that way. Currently, the single family house has a driveway. You can see that little tail to the right that comes out to Court Right. What we are proposing with that is to just have emergency access only. So our access will come off of Atkins, so there won't be any additional traffic or anything like that on Court Right. And as you can see from the aerial, the ladies' fathers, their houses are on the kind of the east side of the property. And so what we are proposing is really kind of a continuation and style of the smaller lots with the T&D along the east side. So you've got single family in the city of Columbus up against a single family house that's in the township. So we think this is an appropriate use of the property. Obviously, staff has reviewed that. And with me, agreeing to make the open space or an approval of it, we met with the MAC and went through all their procedures, and they recommend approval. So, I mean, you've got single family in the city of Columbus up against a single family home that's in the township, but that house is to the east side of the property, and we're developing backing up to the west side of the property. And as I said, for access, that connection of driveway would only be used as an emergency access if required by the fire department.
What's your rear yard setback for your little single family? I know it's in the south, but other stuff like,
For 1 through 8,
yeah, for 1 through 8.
I think it's 5 feet.
It's 5 feet.
But obviously, if you look at that box, I mean, the city asks us, to put in a minimum so they have something to review the site plans when they come in. I mean, yeah, if they would prefer that we put up a fence along that property line, we're happy to do that.
Is the topography flat there, or is there a hill?
Flat.
I definitely think 5 feet calls for a fence. It's
Okay. We'll do the kind of the standard board on board fence along the east property line, except where obviously where the emergency access possibly would be.
okay. Any other questions or comments?
Yeah, I have another one about the connection to Askins and Watkins. I know the neighborhood behind there. My neighbors who are just to the south of there, I guess a few years ago, there was a proposal for that and they ran together. So that neighborhood it does make sense, but they don't want that either. Everybody in the area, like my neighbors have already said, bought it because it's quiet, rural, private, and this would disrupt that. No offense to the developers, and like it seems like a worthy cause, but that's not what this area is. And I don't know if the lawyer here thinks my house is the township, but my house and this house just directly south of it is technically Columbus.
Right, you're Columbus. I was referring to the east.
Oh,
Property to the
yeah,
east. Yeah,
So
no, you're,
we're the only three on the
right, you're zoned R rural in the city of Columbus.
Yeah, so we would like to keep it that way for the privacy and agreeing with other concerns that my neighbor has already brought up.
Yeah, John just pointed out the traffic on this property doesn't really impact Fort Wright Road. And you have
With this property,
unanimous approval by the Mid-East Area Commission, October 18th.
Yeah, and I don't know whether you've got a drawing that shows, but this extension of Aspen, I believe there's like only one driveway that comes out to the road. The rest of that is developed with cul-de-sacs. So that subdivision was laid out in a way to minimize the conflict. And that road is a connector road that the city had planned for. And we rather not put it in. It's expensive. It's a public street, but
yeah,
they've asked us to do our section and bring it closer to a connection.
is there a way we could not get that in?
That'll ultimately get to walk-ins and then down. So
It would if that other property would develop, but if this gentleman doesn't want anything to happen, unless the city would go out and acquire part of his property, then
Okay.
it wouldn't go any farther than
then
our property.
that property.
I mean, we'd rather not do it ourselves because of the expense, but the city understandably didn't give us that option in terms of how the road's been designed and we're the next step to connect the dots.
Well, we are in agreement that nobody wants that street back there, both sides of the neighborhood.
Well,
The development and everybody on board.
Josh, I would make one observation here.
Yes, sir.
I've been going through these meetings for over 20 years, and you are a very articulate voice for neighborhood concerns. I would highly recommend you get contact with somebody at the Mid-East Area Commission and get into what their meetings are about. They approved this thing unanimously, and
When was that approval?
October 18th, 2022.
2022.
So
Okay.
they meet monthly and they review these things and bring people up to date. And you sound like you could be a spokesman for more than just yourself, but for the whole area.
Yeah, this is the first piece of mail I've gotten, so I don't know who's sending out the info, but I think they kind of missed all of us.
Well, I think they sent it to the property,
Where you live?
whoever the property owner is.
So
Yeah,
I don't know
my
what
neighbor, he
it's about.
said that he didn't get anything. Anybody else here?
we didn't get
This weekend.
So I started asking some questions and getting organized because we as a body have found that the neighborhood commissions are extremely important.
Yeah, no, I agree, but we're just
You
trying to
could-
get in contact
You
with the
can
neighborhood.
contribute to their.
You said the Near East?
Mid-East
Mid-East. Okay.
Look into that and see if you can get involved, because the sooner you get in on what the ideas are and make yourself known, you can get a fence already agreed to before a night like this.
Yeah, yes, sir, yes,
If
sir.
you need a fence there, so
Yeah,
if
so
the applicant has agreed to put the fence in,
I put it for one on, we're asking one for this side as well. It is from the base, but.
yes.
We got a fence on here and here.
So it's the east and the south to that right of way. Okay,
Fine.
one last question. Who could we get in contact? Is there
on the website, there's has a contact person.
Yeah, absolutely.
see that gentleman back there with the glasses on that looks like he's reading the Bible? That's one of the best area commission. His name's David Paul. He can give you some advice.
We haven't gotten my case of not reading the Bible yet.
He's one of the best area commission representatives in the city, so he might have a way to tell you who to contact, because I think you'd be right there with him someday.
All right, thank you.
All right. All right, we need a motion to add the applicant's agreement to add a fence on the east property line south property line from the corner to the right of way line.
And the text in the.
And that-
And the text is dated 11/8/2022. Okay. Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, please call the roll.
Maria Conroy,
Yes.
John Ingwerson,
Yeah.
Kay Mugway,
Yes.
Janice Keith Shanklin,
Yes.
Chair Fitzpatrick.
Yes, you are approved.
Thank you very much.
All right. Case number 2. D22-060, 42 West Jenkins Ave.
The 1.61 acre site consists of 12 parcels developed with a vacant manufacturing building and manufacturing district. The requests today are 2 apartment residential districts will permit a multi-unit residential development. To the north of the site are single-unit dwellings in the AR1 apartment residential district and apartment buildings in the M manufacturing district. To the south is a multi-unit residential development in the AR1 apartment residential district. To the east is the commercial building in the M manufacturing district. To the west is a vacant industrial building in the M manufacturing district. Concurrent council variance, CB 22081, has been filed to vary the parking setback line, minimum number of parking spaces required, fronting and rear yard. That request will be heard by city council and will not be considered at this development commission meeting. The site is within the planning area of the South Side Plan, which recommends neighborhood mixed use at this location. Additionally, the plan includes early adoption of the Columbus Citywide Planning Policies Design Guidelines. The site is located within the boundaries of the Columbus Southside Area Commission. Its recommendation is for approval. The requested AR2 apartment residential district will allow a multi-unit residential development that is compatible with the density and development standards of adjacent residential developments. Proposal is also consistent with the land use recommendations of the Southside Plan. Therefore, City Department's recommendation is for approval, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, any questions up here? Traffic,
Nothing to add to the staff report.
Kathy,
Nothing to add to staff report.
and planning is,
No further
you
comment.
good? Okay, would you like to add anything to what the staff has prepared for this?
We'll just let you know who's here.
Okay,
Dave Perry here as agent for community development for all people. And with me, Jordan Anderson, Director of Housing Community Development for all people.
okay, great. Let me ask, is there anyone here to speak regarding case number 2? I think that there is no here. You've got unanimous approval from the area commission, staff approval. Anything else you think we need to know?
Great project by community development for all people. It's the target population is seniors at 30 to 80% AMI, and it's consistent with a great deal of redevelopment that's occurring west of South High Street.
I inspected that building next door across the alley.
Right.
Across Jenkins. Okay.
I like the driver training track here on the.
Yeah. Jordan and I've been out there, so.
Okay, let's call a roll.
John Ingwerson,
Yeah.
Kay Mugway,
Yes.
Janice Keith Shanklin.
Yes.
Maria Conroy.
Yes.
Chair Fitzpatrick.
Yes, you're approved.
Great, thank you.
Okay, case number 3. D22-064, 475 Harmon Ave.
This site is undeveloped in the LM Limited Manufacturing Districts and is part of a larger 38.61 acre manufacturing and commercial development, which permitted all less objectionable uses in the manufacturing district. The requested rezoning to CPD Commercial Plan Development District will permit the development of a mental health and addiction crisis care center. To the north is right of way for Interstate 70. To the east and south are industrial uses in the C4 and limited commercial manufacturing districts. To the west is an office building in a limited manufacturing district. Resides within the planning boundaries of the West Franklinton Plan, which recommends regional mixed-use land uses at this location. It also includes the early adoption of Columbus citywide planning policy, CTP2 design guidelines. Site is located within the boundaries of the Franklinton Area Commission, whose recommendations for approval. CPD text includes use restrictions and supplemental development standards that address building and parking setbacks, density, lot coverage, parking and traffic access, landscaping, and building design. Additionally, the text includes commitments to develop the site in accordance with the site plan, landscape plan, and building elevations. Requested CPD commercial plan development district will permit the development of a medical facility and office. This proposal is not considered to be an introduction of an incompatible use and is consistent with the West Franklinton Plan's recommendation of regional mixed use land uses, which also includes institutional and office. Submitted site plan, landscape plan, and building elevations are also consistent with CPP2 design guidelines. Therefore, city staff's recommendation is for approval.
Okay, questions? Yes.
Joe, I wondered if there was any feedback from the school. Was that solicited or?
I did not receive any feedback. I don't know if the applicant had received any feedback throughout their process, but as far as staff, we have not received anything.
Okay, but there was no outreach to it explicitly. It was just right there. Okay, thank you.
Okay, traffic, then,
No traffic issues.
Kathy,
No recreation parks concerns.
and planning. Further comments? Good. Is anyone here to speak regarding case number 3? Speakers, so. See your name for the record and tell us if you want to add anything to what we've heard.
Well, thank you very much. I'm Thad Boggs. I'm an attorney representing the Advantage Board tonight. We do have a team of folks here to answer any questions that you may have, but nothing to add to Mr. Rose's staff report.
Okay, it looks like you've been very thorough in bringing this up from the ground up with staff. So good
Try.
job. That makes our work. Yes, please.
Basically the same question. I didn't know if the school had been, if you all have been in touch with the school and the school had been.
Meaning Columbus City Schools?
Is it Harmon Elementary? That's right, adjacent to the site. I believe. Or is that, oh, I'm sorry, that's Children's Services. Never mind. It was a different site.
Children's Services, of course, we've been in.
Yeah.
contact with. Yeah.
I'm sorry, that was my bad. I was looking at a different site that had an elementary school next to it. It's the next
Or
one,
the last.
the last one. Okay. See, I did look at them ahead of time. Okay.
All right,
Children's
I
Services.
think you're,
All good.
All
Thank you.
good. Yes.
My bad.
you appear to be on the right track, so with no further ado, I think it's proper to call the roll.
Dale Ugway,
Yes.
Denise Keith Schenklin.
Yeah.
Maria Conroy.
Yes.
John Ingwerson.
Yeah.
Chair Fitzpatrick.
Yes, you are approved.
Thank you.
Okay, case number 4, P22-070, 990 East Dublin Granville Road.
The 1.62 acre site consists of one parcel developed with a parking lot in the CPD Commercial Plan Development District, Sub-Area B, as established by Z18-072. The requested CPD district will permit, in addition to the listed C4 commercial uses, a car wash facility. All other development standards and permitted uses have been carried forward from the previously approved CPD district with this request. North of this site is a self-storage facility in the LM Manufacturing District. South of the site is commercial retail in the C4 Commercial District and multi-unit residential development in the ARO Apartment Office District. East of the site is a parking lot in the CPD Commercial Plan Development District, and west of the site is an eating and drinking establishment in the CPD Commercial Plan Development District. The site is within the planning boundaries of the Northland 1 Area Plan, which recommends regional mixed-use land uses at this location. The plan also recommends that regional commercial overlay standards apply along East Dublin Granville Road corridor with additional considerations for signage. The site is located within the boundaries of the Northland Community Council, whose recommendation is for approval. Please note that the CPD text is written in such a way that there are certain applicable development standards should the site be developed with any of the permitted C4 commercial uses versus a car wash facility. The CPD text includes use restrictions and supplemental development standards addressing building and parking setbacks, vehicular access, parking arrangements, landscaping and screening, dumpster location, graphics controls, and a specific site plan in the event the site is developed with a car wash. A code modification for reduced building setbacks are included for either scenario. The proposed CPD commercial plan development district permits the site to be developed with the car wash facility as shown with the submitted site plan or with the permitted C4 commercial uses listed in the CPD text. The Northland One Area Plan recommends regional mixed use at this location, consistent with the requested uses. Additionally, staff notes that the proposed graphics are consistent with the previously approved commitments in Z18-072. Therefore, staff has no further comment on that element of the proposal. Staff continues to encourage the applicant to explore opportunities for additional landscaping and/or preservation of existing perimeter landscaping, but will not position support on this, and therefore we are recommending approval.
Okay. Question, comment? Dan, traffic,
No traffic issues.
either way? Kathy,
No concerns.
in our planning, and for the comment. Okay, the room seems to be thinning out a little bit. Is there any speakers here besides Dave? Jeff Dave. Yes. Would you like to speak?
Chuck Dave Perry here on behalf of as an agent for the applicant, Driven Brands. Driven Brands is in contract to purchase this parcel. This parcel was established in 2018 when I did the rezoning work for what was the Giant Eagle at the time and has since been changed to storage. The zoning is word for word the same as the 2018 zoning, except adding a car wash as a use for this outlot only and conditioning the car wash development on the site plan.
All right, we have a speaker, Dave Paul.
I will be very brief, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. All as part of the community council. We met with Mr. Terry on October 26th, and to be quick about it, the committee overwhelmingly voted to support this application. Our only concern, we shared it with Mr. Perry, but obviously it isn't his department, is the condition of Boardwalk Street, which is a real mess. And we were concerned that access to this site on the part of his client and his customers might be difficult until that's improved. It is kind of a meandering way to get into it in any case, especially if you're traveling from the eastbound on 161. But again, keep it short. Our committee unanimously recommended approval of this application. We're happy to see the site developed. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Yes.
Didn't we do some work with Giant Eagle, I don't know, 5 years ago about their signage and how they were using the strip out front? And that, does the sign come down and that whole thing is resolved, or do you still have traffic issues with?
Were you the
One of the sign contractors had the high-rise sign, but
yeah.
Giant Eagle had a high-rise pylon sign because of the selling fuel and proximity to the interstate.
Right.
And that is not on this parcel, nor is it on the former Giant Eagle building parcel that it's now storage. It's on the east outlot, but that sign is still there.
Right, I just decided, triggered some memory, but I thought there was some issue with a pylon sign down by the entry, by the south entry into the Giant Eagle well, but it might have just been a ground sign that did for gas prices or something.
Everything related to the former Get-Go fuel has been removed.
Okay.
There is a ground sign that is on the storage parcel that identifies the storage. Yeah. And I don't recall if that was just the Giant Eagle sign that's been refaced, but I don't believe that was so.
I don't believe it was. And actually, this application is replacing the former. This is the parcel.
The full, yes.
Gas.
Yeah, this is where the Get-Go.
Thank you.
All right. Also, thank you for bringing the Bible into this tonight. Okay, time to call the roll.
Denise P. Shanklin.
Yes.
Maria Conroy.
Yes.
Donnie Worson.
Yes.
Ayan Weekweb.
Yes.
Chair Fitzpatrick.
Yes. You want to approve? Okay, case number 5, Z22-057, 6116 Cleveland Ave.
So I developed an office building in the LC2 Limited Commercial District, which permits only office people at this location. Requested rezoning to LC2 Limited Commercial District will permit the building to be converted into a daycare center. To the north and east are offices in the LC2 Limited Commercial District. To the south is undeveloped land and offices in the LC2 Limited Commercial District. And to the west is undeveloped land and a commercial garage in the CPD Commercial Plan Development District. Besides within the planning boundaries of the Northland 1 area plan, which recommends office land uses at this location. Site is located within the boundaries of the Northland Community Council, whose recommendation is for approval as the conditions in their recommendation have been met. Limitation text commits to a site plan and includes a use restriction for monopole telecommunications antennas and commits to C2 development standards. Requested LC2 Limited Commercial District will permit the conversion of the existing office building into a daycare center. Proposed use is consistent with the land use recommendation of the Northland 1 area plan, is not considered to be an introduction of an incompatible use. Therefore, city department's recommendation is for approval.
Okay, questions? Traffic please.
No traffic issues.
And Kathy,
No concerns,
nothing thrills you with this.
nothing thrilling. It's thrilling is that there's nothing that we need to worry about.
That's good for us.
Planning
Brian?
for the council.
Okay, is anyone here to speak regarding case number 5? It's up to you. Give us your name for the record.
I'm Kim Mechanic. I'm the architect for the
Okay.
owner of the building, and
You've done your homework and you're ready to go.
yes,
I see no reason to hold you up any longer. Please call the roll.
Maria Conroy.
Yes.
John Ingwerson.
No.
Dan Woodway.
Yes.
Denise Keys Shanklin.
Yeah.
Chair Fitzpatrick.
Yes, and I think that may be a new record. That's 2 minutes. You are approved.
thank you.
Okay, case number 6, Z22-080. That's 080, 1709 Frank Road.
The 10.48 acre site consists of one parcel developed with an existing food manufacturing plant in the LM Limited Manufacturing District. The requested M2 manufacturing district will permit a small expansion on the northern side of the building that would be otherwise prohibited by the existing LM limitation text. North of the site are single unit dwellings in the R24 suburban apartment residential district in Franklin Township. South of the site are single unit dwellings in the R2 residential district. East of the site is a truck terminal in the LM Limited Manufacturing District. And west of the site is a school in the R rural district in Franklin Township. Concurrent council variance CV 22-107 has been filed to vary the building setbacks along Frank Road and Gantz Road. That request will be heard by city council and not be considered at this development commission meeting. The site is within the planning boundaries of the Southwest Area Plan. The site is in the planning boundaries of the Southwest Area Plan, which recommends light industrial land uses at this location. The plan also includes early adoption of C2P2 design guidelines. The site is located in the boundaries of the Southwest Area Commission, whose recommendation is for approval. The requested M2 manufacturing district permits the existing food manufacturing plant. Permits the existing food manufacturing plant and the proposed building addition. The requested M2 district is consistent with the Southwest Area Plan's land use recommendation, C2P2 design guidelines, and does not introduce a new use to the area, and therefore city department's recommendation is for approval. And to answer your question from before.
Thank you. Well, it's called Harmon Elementary and the other road was Harmon.
Yeah, they had the Southwestern Cities School Board notification as per usual for any other property owner within 125 feet.
Okay. Good. But, and there's been
I have not received any feedback.
nothing from them. Okay.
It's a planning process. Traffic.
We are thrilled. This proposal would remove an encroachment from existing right of way.
That would be thrilling. Kathy, we're on a roll now.
We have no concerns.
There's
no concern. That would compute where you're somewhat thrilling.
Roll if there are any concerns.
Yeah, there you go. Planning,
Planning is no further.
ecstatic.
Never throw.
Okay. Are there, is anyone going to speak of the huge audience?
That's another one of my students, just so you know.
Oh,
Okay. All of
Dave's auditing reports. Okay, would you like to add anything to what the staff has said?
Sure. I'm Lisa Rathburn. I'm the Vice President of Engineering for Team Rossetti.
Zach Edwards, I'm a corporate manager for Team Marzetti.
We are ecstatic to be able to do this project because we are doing routine maintenance and upgrading HVAC and utilities. And not only are we getting out of the right of way, we're also cleaning up the facade. So the part that faces Frankfurt is going to look a lot better.
not even.
We don't have a microphone to tape here, but it's actually step above ecstatic is thrilled. So you might want to check with Kathy. You know, it's right next door, but it's a big leap. Okay, any other additions? Please call the roll.
John Ingerson,
Yes.
Kay Amalugwe,
Yes.
Denise E. Shingley.
Yes.
Maria Conroy,
Yes.
Chair Fitzpatrick.
Yes, you're approved. And that concludes the agenda.
Yes.
I'll take a motion for adios.
No.
All right.
By the way, Jordan Henderson also a student and CRP alum, so. Gentlemen,
We can learn a lot here.
these are doctoral students, they're basically. What do you, what brings you here?
It's just water.
Just,
I am happy that,
I don't know
you know,
how
you have
close.
like that first
The
one.
update on-
That was really.
Which was